one man who was, well, supposed to be there that night, and I'm so delighted is still with us today, is Foreign Affairs journalist at The Telegraph, Colin Freeman, who joins us live right now from the eastern Ukraine city of Kramatorsk. Good morning to you, Colin.
Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I've got a special interest here because Colin and I went journalism college together far too many years ago, Colin. And as soon as I saw your name, I thought, oh, phew, I'm glad you're doing okay. I periodically checked. Yeah, he's still okay out there. What you do is a dangerous business. I sit in a nice studio and I've got a nice cup of tea and I sit on my fat bum while you're out there basically covering an incredibly dangerous war in and among the people who are the victims of that war, and putting your life at risk and to bring us the truth. And I don't think people understand how important that job is. So all credit to you. But you were supposed to be having a pizza in that restaurant that night. Tell us what happened to you. Tell us what happened to the people in that restaurant.
Yes, it's not all kind of frontline action here. There are chances to have a bit of R&R and sit and relax and so on, and that's what we were doing on Tuesday night. I think it was, so I lose track of time here, but yeah, the Ria Pizza and Bar in Kramatorsk, it's one of the places where you can go for a bit of R&R. It's a really nice restaurant, actually. It's a lot nicer than quite a few places I've been to in London. You know, it's sort of modern brasserie type of place, really stylish. The last kind of thing you expect if you imagine that Ukraine is all this kind of grim post-Soviet landscape here, especially here in the Russian-speaking East. So we were about 7 o'clock. We were just browsing the menu, thinking about what pizza we might have. 2 minutes past 7, we suddenly got a call from someone saying they were on the other side of town. They were available for an interview. It was an interview we'd been chasing for a while, but they were only going to be around for the next hour. So we shot off, thought, you know, bit of a shame that we missed the pizza, but never mind. Then we were interviewing this person on the other side of town, and about 7:30, i.e. about 28 minutes later, we heard a thunderous explosion. And we thought, I wonder what that is. You quite often get explosions here, but this one sounded very, very loud. Someone said, well, we think that's in the vicinity of the Ria Pizza place where you guys just were. So we went to check it out, and sure enough, it was right on top of the pizza restaurant. The place was an absolute mess, just a sea of rubble, and we were looking at it and thinking, yep, somewhere in there, that's the table that we were dining at. And unless they had served us very, very quickly and we'd scoffed our food and left straight away, I think it's almost certain that we would have been in there among the dead and injured. And
we did see, you know, children among the dead and injured. I think 3 children, including some twin girls. The death toll has mounted. We know dozens and dozens seriously injured. What's it like? You know, you've come from a normal family, normal town in the UK, to be somewhere war torn. I mean, I suppose it's the same question of anyone in Ukraine. Just you're sitting having a pizza, and there's a chance that your table might get bombed.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the time in Ukraine, you don't actually feel at risk. But for me, this
does life feel normal quite a lot of the time, then?
Yes, a lot of the time, frankly, it does. Unless you're right up close to the front lines, which are in certain designated areas, most of the time you think, you feel relatively safe. And there are missile strikes occasionally, but it's a big country. It's 40 million people. It's 2 or 3 times the size of the UK. So there is an element of thinking like, well, a missile strike is a kind of lightning strikes thing. You know, you're unlikely to be in the spot where it happens, given that there's usually, they don't happen every day. And when they do, there's not that many of them, 2 or 3 sometimes more. But you generally think it's not going to happen to me. And now we see that actually it can happen. Or it nearly happened to me. And it happens to hundreds, thousands of Ukrainians in the past 18 months.
Now, we know, look, there's a lot going on in, international politics with the Wagner group leader Prigozhin and moving to Belarus and that attempted mutiny on Saturday that wasn't an attempted mutiny against Vladimir Putin. Lots of talk about what could happen with the war coming up. But in terms of your experience, among the people of Ukraine, you've been out there quite some time. Are they feeling more hopeful now, or is there a sort of feeling of, we're almost 18 months months in, we're now entrenched in this war, and this is now how life is going to be.
I think they think that the counter-offensive that started a couple of weeks ago, or officially started anyway, is going to be very tough. No one's under any illusions about that. They've obviously been glued to their TV screens and their mobile phone screens by events in Russia in the last few days. This is like watching the mother of all Netflix dramas, as it were. It's absolutely captivating, although they are being fairly careful about not, opening the champagne too soon in terms of all that, because I think as one person said to me, you say your enemy's enemy is your friend, but both of these guys are our absolute sworn enemies. So no one's drawing too many conclusions from what's going on in Russia at the moment.
Indeed. Well, look, you keep yourself safe. No more pizzas, I think we can safely say. And absolutely, hearts go out to those who did lose their loved ones and were injured in that restaurant attack. Again, targeting of civilian places like that, completely, utterly a war crime, very, very clearly done deliberately by Russia. Colin Freeman there, foreign affairs journalist at The Telegraph.